Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now it's time for your weekend tech tip, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
All right, let's say you go over and you take advantage of the sale going on over at the Kershaw warehouse. Again, that's December 6th through the 8th. All kinds of different options there, from skinners to big scimitars to kitchen knives, whatever it is. I mean, Kershaw makes it for you. There literally isn't anything that you would need for the woods, for fishing, or for the home, if you're talking about a blade, that Kershaw does not have. But the thing of it is you have to take care of them, right? And I'm as guilty as anyone, probably even worse than any normal person out there, because I just don't take care of them. I use them as tools. I carry a pocket knife around every day. It's used every day. I mean, we all use our pocket knife every day. It's one of the reasons why we carry them. But you got to take care of them. And each knife is a little bit different on how you would do that. And Dom, you had some good advice before we even started the show from different versions of knives, how you can store them. So you had 3 of them, so let's start there.
Okay. The first tip I want to bring up is if you have a knife that's assisted opening that is one of your favorite, you know, we do discontinue knives at times, and so our parts will run out. And assisted opening knives have a torsion bar in the center here that is under pressure when the knife is closed. So if you want to make sure that a discontinued knife lasts a long time, storing it open will ensure that that torsion bar lasts a lot longer.
Okay, and for a lot of us, I mean, I absolutely have to have an automatic minimum. Now I'm solely stuck on out the fronts, and I'd love to talk to you about designing a bigger version of an out to front, but that's a different topic, different day. But there's so many different versions: assisted, non-assisted, automatics, whatever they might be. But this is extremely popular. An assisted knife is relatively inexpensive, especially compared to an auto. It's very much inexpensive. So I would probably, and maybe I'm taking a little bit of a stretch here, that the majority of you out there watching that carry a Kershaw pocket knife have some sort of assisted opening mechanism. You mentioned that some of them get discontinued at times. So let's kind of go down that road a little bit. If somebody does have a particular knife that does get discontinued, does the warranty still count like it used to?
Warranty still counts. So what happens if we don't have parts available to repair your knife is we'll give you a voucher worth the original value, purchase price of the knife that you can use towards a new knife.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to fix it because parts are no longer available.
Sure.
Which, if you were to actually go to that facility, you're going to go, how could you run out of parts? It's a thing, especially if something actually did happen to you. So they could just switch over to another version of what. Do they get the other one back, or do you keep that one?
That's a great question. I'm not sure on that.
Okay, I always want to. Hey, you got to find out, right? If they didn't give back, I wouldn't even care. If you're, excuse me, able to get a new one, that's a good deal. Now, let's talk about the other version.
Yeah, so this is the Bel Air. This one uses our Duralock mechanism, which is it's pretty safe, much like the live wire. You don't have to get in, put your hand in front of the blade ever. But for a tip on something else is some blade finishes could be more susceptible to spotting, rust spotting, than others.
Okay.
I mean, we're using stainless steel, but steel rust. That's just the way it is.
Sure.
So certain blade finishes are more susceptible to that. So when you store your knife, if you just put a real thin coat of oil on there, especially if you're in humid environments, it'll stop any spotting.
So as soon as he says humid, I'm thinking Florida. Okay. If you've never been to Florida, good. Don't go there in August. Yeah, because you can get into those situations. How about like coastal?
Yeah.
When you're closer to salt water.
Yep. Having oil on the blade will help prevent corrosion.
And there's a lot of us that have more than one, version of a pocket knife. Because there's, quite honestly, if I'm out hunting, I do have my live wire with me, but I do carry a different knife, regular folding knife that has some serration on there so that I can cut corn or cut different material for blinds. So there are different reasons to carry different knives at any given time, but you're going to be storing them. So is there a type of oil that you would recommend, like a gun oil or vegetable oil? What kind
There's
of oil?
a lot of different oils that'll work. If you use your knife to cut apples or anything like that, I'd recommend a food-safe oil.
Oh, okay.
Like vegetable oil or something like that.
All right, makes sense.
But gun oil or anything like that would work as well.
All right, I understand. I got to keep that in mind because I use mine for everything. I'll literally cut up an apple and I just cut up some corn. Maybe that's not the best thing to do. Best thing to do. All right, how about fixed blades? Like this caper that I was shown just a little bit ago. This is not a USA-made knife, so we can just be clear there. The high-quality steel is still there, but it is a little bit different than, say, a live wire material as far as the metal goes. Is there anything we can do for our fixed blade knives to make sure that they're good to go for many, many, many years? Yeah,
anytime they don't, bring them in for us to sharpen for you.
That's a great point. I mean, and I mentioned this earlier. I'm terrible with sharpening knives. And I literally have I've mentioned this over the years before, I've got a drawer full of knives that are dull because I can't get an edge back on them. We did a bit on that when we were over there. You can mail them in. You can bring them in yourself if you live local. You can literally just walk right in the door and here you go. I got a knife that's doled out. The one that we did our bid on looked like a serrated blade, but it wasn't. It had been beaten up so bad, and then they fixed it for us right there on the spot. It was amazing, but anybody can do that, not just for us because we had a camera there. They'll do that, and here you go. This is exactly what their process was, and they'll do it for you if you want to wait, or you can mail it in and they'll ship it back to you. I'm assuming at your cost as far as the shipping goes, but at the very least, if you were able to take it in there, that individual, that man right there, put an edge on a knife that I would have just thrown away. Very honestly, I just would have tossed it, but he's got the equipment there to do everything. That whetstone by itself was super impressive. And he's been doing it a long time. It's not like it's a rare thing for somebody to come in with their knives to get them sharpened. It's pretty common.
Oh, every day.
Every day.
And you can bring 2 knives in and wait. If you in 10, 15 minutes, we'll have them done for you.
Right.
If you bring in a box or a drawer, like you're saying, you have to drop them off and then pick them up the next day.
Is it just Kershaw knives?
Any Kai brand.
Okay.
So Kershaw, Shun, Kai Housewares, but we won't sharpen another manufacturer.
So if you brought somebody else in, no, get that thing out of here.
I mean, it'd probably be more polite than that, but yeah.
Really? I wouldn't be. No, I'm kidding. And hey, if you got a question for Dominic, feel free to call us up. It's 503-548-6777. Anything that you might want to contribute to talking about blades, because it is something that we literally use every day. I know that you don't do a lot of fishing, but it's something that we use when we're filleting fish, right? When we're cutting up lines, if we're doing different things, if you're hunting, any number of reasons that you would have to have some sort of blade with you. But you make a lot of other things. We talked a little bit off air as well as you make tools that we can use in the woods, in the field as well, like machetes and other things. That product line, is it under the Kershaw name or is it under another name? No, we have machetes and everything under Kershaw. Okay, so literally everything. And I know that Ryan's been showing you the website. Again, this sale is only there, though. It's not go online and take advantage of. You have to physically be at the warehouse. Correct. Yourself, do you go take advantage of? I work the sale. You do work the sale? All right, very good. Anything that you would say, if you are interested in a good pocket knife, that you would say, look at this particular one? Is there a knife that you're more of a fan of maybe than another? I have my favorites, but my favorite might not be your favorite. True. I love the Bel Air. I love the Heist. The Heist is an imported model, but it has our Duralock system on it. It's got a really grippy handle. It's really smooth, and I just gravitate towards that one on most days. What do you carry every day? Usually the Heist. The Heist, okay. I also carry the live wire a lot, the Bel Air, the Leak occasionally. I mean, I have, as I'm sure you do, a large number of knives, so just depends on the day what I grab. But the Heist a lot of times is what I gravitate towards. And the Leak is one of your most popular knives that you guys have ever made, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's been around for years. And seeing the process of seeing this thing made was pretty darn cool. As well. And so you've got the assisted, you've got the non-assisted out the fronts, you've got automatics, you've got the fixed blades from any version. Then of course you have the import fillet knives that are folders or the full size like this guy here, which again is one of my favorites, the 12-inch curved fillet. I just wish I caught big enough fish to actually, like that 30-pounder we saw the photo of, that was maybe not a 30-pounder. But that knife would be perfect for it. So any different options that you have out there, any number of reasons to look at different types of blades, they're going to have you covered. And, you know, if you want to get them sharpened up, take them with you, right? When you go there, can they drop them off and then go through the sale and come back and pick them up? I'm sure that that's got to happen. Yep, we'll sharpen during the sale. All right, so there's a ton of different reasons to go and check it out. Hopefully, you're able to do so. If you do that, I'm going to say look at the kitchen set of knives because that's what I would be going after. And I'm already grinding on them. I need some for that. They're just beautiful. I think our initial shot in the front of your facility had all the Kai knives back there. I believe they're the Kai or were they the Shun that was behind us?
There's both.
Both. Some of them are just incredible. Those knives that are up on that wall, this is just a question of myself, those are all available? Those are current models that are being sold, or are those some outdated as well, or?
On the Kershaw side, we have a display as well, and it's all the current items. I assume on the houseware side, because we have different teams that manage the houseware side.
Sure.
I assume that those are all current production models.
If they're just, listen, we can geek out on knives all the time, and some of them are pretty cool. And when they're made in Japan, there's a reason why that kind of takes that up to the next level, because they are next level knives, just that simple. All right, I've got a couple of questions here, so we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I'm not letting Dominic out of here. I'm going to make him hang out with me, but I've got Paul and Alan on the line. We're going to take those calls, and we're going to continue to talk Kershaw here on Outdoor GPS. We'll be back in just a minute.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. And by North American Metals Incorporated, first choice for all your metal roofing and siding needs.